Tim Minchin joins me now. It's great to see you.
It's lovely to be here again.
So if we cannot see you live, which is obviously the best, the next best thing is we can see you that show in the cinema.
Yeah, they've decided to put my live show in cinema screens just for one day in November, and I didn't know they were going to do that, but it seems like a pretty fun idea, really.
Absolutely. How do you feel about being on the great big giant screen?
Well, I've always thought with a head... With a head
Look at you being all seductive on top of a piano.
I don't know.
It looks like, or is it a stage?
I don't know what sort of person would be seduced by that, but if they are, then I'm by definition seductive.
Think of a few.
I think with a head that size, what
Yes.
you think is what we need is to be bigger. So I think
right.
putting it on the big screen is a
But
good
it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
know, it gives so many more people an opportunity to see you, which is great.
Yeah, that's right. This tour, which was called Back, sort of ended up spanning 3 years because of COVID and all the sidestepping and stuff we had to do, and I went Australian twice and UK twice. But it's not everyone can actually fork out whatever, 50 quid or whatever it is to see a live show. So this is that show, beautifully edited and put together and on a big screen for less money.
Good idea. I quite like that. I think that's the way ahead.
Yeah, I think...
In some ways. You know, you get the choice of both. You're right. I mean, some people can't afford to travel or to get there, but then you can go see it in the movies.
I do think live music and live theatre is a whole other thing, but now the tour's over, it's a lovely document. We had such a good time on that tour.
You can tell. You can really tell watching it. You can just see that... and you know how sometimes something just all comes together and it just works beautifully? Yeah,
I've been working with a lot of those musos for 15 years now, and that hat I was wearing in that clip, I just stole off my drummer, and he has a normal-sized head, so just if anyone needs an explanation of why that hat was ill-fitting.
It's like, as we say in Scotland, a pea on top of a dumpling.
Exactly. Well, that's the story of my life. Yeah.
A pea on top of a dumpling, which we love. As well as that, of course, everybody's talking about Matilda.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it's one of those things that's just come at the right possible time. This little kid is amazing, isn't she?
She is absolutely extraordinary.
She really is.
Alicia Weir, and I'm not quite sure where our director found her. She's just a remarkable kid, and her performance in this film is like nothing I've ever seen. I think it might be the best child performance on screen I've ever seen.
To be honest, it doesn't feel like a performance. It just feels like she's Matilda.
Yeah.
You know, she just is.
Acting is about making your audience feel the truth of what you're going through, and some people just have it, and she has it at a very young age. Which
is amazing. I think we're going to see great things,
Yeah.
Emma Thompson, almost unrecognisable, I would say.
Yeah, a few hours in prosthetics every morning.
I love her because she's got no vanity at all. She's just very happy to do that.
She's a completely consummate actor. She's extraordinary. And the main thing you need to do with Roald Dahl adaptations and children's stories that have baddies in them is get that line between sort of intensity. We want to care about Matilda. We want to believe that she's actually, you know, got conflict and jeopardy and all those things we talk about in storytelling. But Trunchbull is a monster, and we want kids to be able to watch this film and feel the tension of it.
And be scared.
But to be scared in a way that they understand that it's not reality. So that slightly larger than reality thing. Emma's just amazing. She's really scary. But, you know, if your 8-year-old goes to see it, they're not going to be traumatised for too long.
No, but kids quite like being frightened just enough. It's that...
There's a reason why Roald Dahl is kind of the British author of generations, is because he knew that kids wanted... Well, kids could handle... It's what he wrote about. Kids can handle much more than we think.
No, they can, you're right. When you think of something like James and the Giant Peach, they can do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Willy Wonka and all of these things, you know, that's...
Yeah, and actually, as a parent, you think a lot about how there's so much information and stuff that our kids are exposed to. And I'm very protective of my kids when it comes to sort of rolling news channel stuff and that sort. But actually, these monstrous characters and these morality tales with baddies and goodies, this is what kids can handle. They can handle a monstrous headmistress. What you don't want them to necessarily do is read the rolling news.
No, indeed, like a monster like Putin or something like that, because then that becomes really difficult to explain it to them. What do your kids think of what you do? Are they pretty cool about it? Do they think, I've got the coolest dad in the world, or not really?
I make them say, they have to come to my bedroom every morning with a cup of tea and say, hey, coolest dad in the whole world. Look, I don't know, they're not sort of fan. I mean, have you anyone you talk to who's in the industry as kids, they're not Matilda fans particularly. They like it well enough. I sort of protected him from all that too.
Sure.
I remember my son coming home at like 8 or 9, I think. We were living in LA, and he's like, you know, someone at school said you're famous, and I'm like, I got through 9 years without him ever hearing that word. You know,
Do you know, that's brilliant. That is absolutely fantastic.
I think it's weird, but they don't. I just think they see me as that's work, you know.
Right, that's work, Dad, and then there's Dad.
Yeah,
and that
like my daughter's a huge fan of like James Acaster and Bo Burnham, and I sort of feel like, well, you know, some people think I'm quite. She's like, yeah, she doesn't even watch it.
Some people think I'm quite funny.
She just doesn't even care. Yeah.
It's good though, and you can do that thing of going from Australia to here. It's almost like us getting the bus into work. I mean, it's just become. You can do it now. You can, but it must be...
now we can. I mean, when Matilda was being filmed, it sort of broke my heart because I couldn't come and be a part of it. But yeah, there's no doubt you can get on a plane and get here pretty quickly. But I spend my whole time when I'm here for a week at the moment, and I'm just. The jet lag, it's like you're in a fog the whole time.
It must be weird. It must be like being in cotton wool.
It is.
Yeah,
it's a bit foggy. I just blink and I'm on Lorraine, and then I blink
and then you blink near somebody else, and then it's like that. Right. It is great to see you. Thank you so much. Now, the cinema, we can see it, what, the 23rd of November? Is that right?
They're just doing one day where they're putting
23rd of November.
My live show into cinemas on the 23rd.
Fantastic. That is a must-see. And then Matilda's out from the 25th?
The 25th, the same week. And I think season 2 of Upright, my TV show, is coming out the same week.
I like that. I didn't know that was coming back.
There's a news flash. Yeah, I filmed a second season, and that's going to be everyone is going to be absolutely sick of me if they're not already.
You can't get enough of you. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
So good to talk to you. Thank you so much.